Thanks for joining us here today at Book Blather. If you're new here, I'm Dave. This is Olive. And we try to have a little fun while we mostly talk about books to help spread the joy of reading. So today, we want to talk about the final book of 2024, or the final book that we haven't talked about yet that we read in 2024, and that is Alien Clay by Adrian Tchaikovsky. So this is a science fiction novel by an author, Adrian Tchaikovsky, that has rapidly been becoming one of our favorite authors. If you're not aware of him yet, you should give him a shot. And if you like sci-fi, he is awesome. I saw a quote recently that said, "Is Tchaikovsky single-handedly holding up the sci-fi genre?" And yeah, I mean, he's basically the Brandon Sanderson of science fiction these days. Although he's also written some fantasy. He wrote like a 10-book fantasy series called The Shadow of the Apt. This is the fifth book we've read by Adrian Tchaikovsky, and this one was a little bit of a different experience than the previous four that we read. So we read the Children of Time series, made up of Children of Time, Children of Ruin, and Children of Memory. And these were all interconnected, but they were also self-contained stories, all dealing with traversing vast amounts of space and time and the evolution of species and civilizations over those vast amounts of time. Each of these stories, we loved them as we were reading them. We loved them when we closed the book. We also read The Doors of Eden, which is a standalone book. This one deals with alternate Earths, and again, the way things can evolve differently in different settings on different worlds. And this one, not quite as much, didn't love it quite as much as Children of Time, but also very much enjoyed it while we were going through it and when we completed it. Alien Clay, the fifth book we've read by Adrian Tchaikovsky, was a little bit different. This one sort of had to marinate a little bit. Don't usually like to give books stars these days, but just to give you an idea, if I were going to give this stars, when I closed the book, I probably would have given it like a 3.5. I thought it was like decent. But I sat with it for a little while and it marinated a little bit and I thought about it some more. Today I would probably give it a 4.5. The reason for that is this book, unlike the others, this book was a lot more political. Now, it is a science fiction story, so the setting is we follow our main character, Anton Dogdev, who is a political exile that gets sent to an alien planet. Now, in this future, Earth has started to explore a lot of, outer space, and it has explored a bunch of worlds, and it has found very basic life on only a couple, but it has found evidence of intelligence on only one, and that is Kiln, where this story takes place. This alien world, we have been there for a while, basically trying to explore it and find some answers. It is a very verdant world with lots of creatures and ruins with writing on them that are clear evidence of some kind of intelligence. So we've been there for a long time trying to figure it out. There is a bad overseer that has troops under his command, and there are a lot of exiles, basically scientific exiles, that get sent to this world to do some of the work in different capacities. And basically, all of these scientists that get sent there, they basically reside in this labor camp that has horrible conditions. So back on Earth, in this future, the Earth has become really a totalitarian society. And so it's not like what you typically see. It's not a fanatical religious society or one that's totally driven by power or politics. It is a science-based society, but there is an official doctrine. It's called the Mandate, and there is no tolerance for any dissension from this doctrine. It's a very human-centric doctrine. And so any people that dissent from the official view get rounded up and exiled to Kiln in order to work at this labor camp. Our character was somewhat of a preeminent scientist, and he got a little loose. He thought he could be free to speak, the truth at least in academic circles, and he was wrong. And so some of his colleagues got rounded up and sent off. He survived it for a little while, but eventually he got rounded up and sent off to Kiln 2, which is where our story starts. And when he's there, he has a little bit of a unique experience. The overseer there sort of treats him a little bit special at first, gives him a little bit of privilege, just because, he thinks this is a preeminent scientist that can maybe help him. But, Dogdev has some allegiance to the truth. He still has a little bit of a revolutionary side within him. And so, different things happen with different characters. This is a regime that is very brutal on dissenters, absolutely no tolerance for it. They send people to this horrible labor camp, but even like death, they don't even think twice, basically, of sending people to their death. So very low tolerance for it. And he is stuck in this environment, and he's an academic at heart, so he really wants to find out the truth of what's happening on Kiln, but he's also trying to survive and also trying to see if they can make some change, but it's very hard to buck this system. So it's a pretty cool that sort of mandate that exists on Earth, and by extension on Kiln, that he and his fellow compatriots are existing under is kind of unique, the sort of scientific oppressive society. But also what happens on Kiln is pretty original, because once again, Tchaikovsky, who is by background a naturalist, he creates this unique biology there where things have evolved a little differently. And it's not just, your normal evolution that can happen over the pressures of time. This is I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to spoil, but this biology, it's different, and it's very interesting. Things are much more of are changing. They're much more of an amalgam, and everything is sort of interconnected. The creatures that live on this world. And so it's kind of a unique concept in terms of, biology and evolution. And, part of what I didn't appreciate, I think, until I sat with the book for a little while, was the interconnectedness of all of this. Basically what I came to realize was that a lot of the biology, which I'm not going to reveal any more of, but what's happening biologically on Kiln seems to be somewhat of a metaphor for the problems of the political system that they are living under and trying to, buck. And so, you realize that both in politics and in biology, there can be a place for differing things, right? Different things can have different utility and functions, and so just in any political system, it's going to be more successful if you allow for differences of opinions and try to incorporate all of those. Same thing with this biology, and that's all I'll say about the biology. But it is all tied together very neatly at the end, the political side of things and the biological side of things, and the interconnectedness of everything, and how these sort of differences are useful and not antithetical to progress and success. So really, really good book. Definitely one that, like I said, definitely more on the political side, definitely makes you think a bit more, I think, than the other ones. These other ones had pretty big ideas in terms of science, but this one is a little bit more in terms of ideas, in terms of politics and political dissension. And so, and it was pretty good. There's a fair bit of good quotes in here, and Adrian Tchaikovsky deals with the political side of things pretty well. So we would, like his other books, we would highly recommend this. Just like I said, go into, at least for us, it was a little bit of a different experience, and it might be for you too, and it might be one that you would need to, like us, sit with for a little while and ponder a little bit. So let us know if you've read this, or if you're thinking you might read it, or if you've read other stuff by Tchaikovsky. We're really into Tchaikovsky now. We'd be curious to hear any of your thoughts. So if you don't have anything substantive you want to say, you can always leave Olive a puppy emoji, right? Because she does always like to see those, right, Olive? Did you have anything else to add about this? Anything else to add about this book? Did you have anything else to add? No? Nothing today? Okay, so I guess that's going to do it, guys. So as always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again very soon. But in the meantime, take care of yourselves and each other, and we'll see you next time.